we're heading for the last leg on the Pole Pole expedition. We're heading for 82 and a half maybe. We're taking the last minutes now on this beautiful sailboat to be able to reach the glacier, and then to be able to walk up the glacier and then ski and kite up to 82, 83. So we're just looking for the right spot now to get ashore with the sled so we can continue. It's a beautiful morning, around 6-7 o'clock. Some icebergs. We had some fog earlier this morning, but now it seems actually pretty perfect.
We have been discussing problems a lot during this expedition now, and problems always have solutions. We found Knut the dentist. I found Harald to go to the North Pole. I found the Indian guy Nash to drive the support car in Central America. I found Carl Robert that will go with me biking for 4 months across North and Central America. So I found people along the way that was a part of my adventure. Now I was going to go to Greenland, and I needed somebody to go with me. So I called up this girl named Anastasia, who I met when I was training snow kiting in Norway 1 year earlier. So maybe she knows somebody that can go with me. So she tells me, so why not me? Yeah, why can't I go? So I ask her, do you really want to go with me? Do you know what this is about? Yeah, we're going to go Greenland. It's going to be tough, it's going to be cold, it's going to be heavy. But I need it because I'm going to North Pole and I'm going to do a solo ski to North Pole in a few years. So I need this practice. Okay, I need to go now. Greenland has a short period of time where you can do this. And this was running out very, very late. So we go to Greenland, we jump up on the sailboat, and Ben's father, Roger, and his wife, they're on the boat, and we start to go slowly with icebergs, and it's fantastic, it's so beautiful. And after a week, we reach the point where we can actually go skiing and then climbing up and then go kiting.
So we tried one iceberg, but it didn't really work because it was not attached to the mainland. So now we're going to try to go behind it. So beautiful. We just walked from the sea line, from the ocean, from the Arctic Ocean, and up to the glacier. We will start kite and ski. After almost 1.5 years, ready for my last stretch up to 82.5, somewhere around that. That is actually where I ended up when I came from the North Pole and down. And this is where I was supposed to start when I was going over Greenland. So I feel pretty good. It's been a beautiful journey, sailing all the way down from Ilulissat and all the way up. It has been beautiful. And yeah, now it's just dragging the sled as I've been doing on the North Pole and the South Pole. Now it's Greenland.
Turns out to be that this year in Greenland is the worst ice conditions ever measured in history. It was a nightmare. It was, we call it like the devil's dance floor. It was, I can't even describe how much crevasses we went through. Worst day, we did 30 meters in I think 12 hours. Because you have to go zigzag the whole time, you have to find solutions. And if you fall with the sled inside the crevasse, you're gone forever.
Now we've been spending around 5 days going through a crevasse area. It's been a living nightmare actually. But we see the end of it, and finally we will reach the white spot and start to kite. But this has been pretty bad, so probably we'll have to put on our backpacks and walk a day, maybe tomorrow also, to get through this last area. But it's beautiful, it's Arctic, and we look forward to this also.
We have two different kind of systems. We have kite and we have snow sail. Snow sail is like a big machine. It's like a big sail that moves you forward slowly but steady. While a kite is you work with a figure of 8 up in the air. You do figures with the kite to get air, to get pressure, and then you move forward with the kite. So Anastasia was very familiar with kite, which is the most difficult one, but she had never tried the ski sail before. And we needed the ski sail because a kite has maybe 50 meters of lines, and if there's a crevasse coming up and you take down the kite, maybe the kite will be on the other side of the crevasse, and if the wind is too high you might fall into the crevasse, or you might, like, you know, getting dragged into the crevasse with the wind.
Every problem there's a solution. So now we're using backpacks to be able to go through this, what we just named Devil's Ballroom. It looks like a big dance floor made for the devil. It's pretty impressive, but it's pretty annoying for the moment. So we're gonna see how long this will take. Probably not many weeks.
I needed something that have just, like, you know, maybe 2 meters ahead of me, and that is the snow sail. But Anastasia haven't used a snow sail before, so she felt more comfortable with the kite. But I was afraid of the crevasses, so I said, let's have me in front with the ski sail, so I can take down the ski sail pretty quickly if there's a crevasse coming, and you wait behind me. So we moved forward with her behind me, and then I moved forward with the ski sail. Then one day I saw a big crevasse coming up, and I went around it, and I found a solution to go around it, and I told Anastasia, I think this one is safe. So she went around, but she went around in another spot, and that happened to be not so safe. I hear a scream, and I just see the kite, and Anastasia is gone. So I stop and I freeze, and I realize after a few seconds that the worst thing you can do is just to freeze. So standing there on the ice, I was afraid. But the moment now was I was not afraid of the crevasses. I was not afraid of me being there or anything. I was afraid because she was down in a crevasse and maybe she was gone. So it was a different kind of fear that I haven't experienced before. It just came to me as a reality. Maybe she didn't make it. So I take off my gear, take off the kite and take off the sled, and I run over to the crevasse, and this is pretty spectacular. So she's lying on the bridge inside the crevasse. Between her and the sled is a rope, kind of like maybe 2 meters. 2 meters below her is another bridge where the sled ended up. But the distance between the sled and her on her bridge is about 2 meters. So she's very, like, you know, straightforward with the line, hanging with the skis kind of upside down within the crevasse. So she's stuck in the crevasse with a very tight rope to the other bridge where this sled is hanging. Below that is maybe 40-50 meters of certain depth behind her. But she's lying there on one bridge, the sled on another bridge, and I'm standing there with no rope because the rope is inside her sled. And I cannot reach that rope without climbing down and trying to get it out of her sled. What I was trying to do next was to get her out as fast as possible. So I built a wall out of snow and I put the sled behind it, and then I take the lines from the kite and I make a rope out of that so she can be saved. After that we have the next problem. Her skis are still down there and we don't have an extra pair of skis. Next thing is that the sled is down there. I have the tent, she has the kitchen. I have the fuel, she has the rope. We have to get up her equipment, but I'm too heavy for her to hold me if I fall. So the only solution is to ask Anastasia to go down again in the crevasse once she got up. She was not too happy with that, I can tell you that. So she goes down again into the crevasse with the rope, and I'm holding the rope, and we make an anchor out of the ice axe in the snow. So we made an anchor, and we make a kind of a system so I can hold her and she can climb down with an ice axe and with her crampons to actually cut up the sled, and then trying to find a bridge to stand on while I'm holding her, and then I'm locking her with one arm and trying with another arm with another rope to get piece by piece up, hour by hour. After that, in a few hours, we empty the whole sled, and we have put the empty sled on a leash so I can take up the empty sled and the skis and then her. But it took a whole day, and I was completely dead, frozen and scared once I got up. Because this was the moment when fear was something that was an obstacle for me. Because normally I can actually overcome the fear, but now the fear was for another person. If it was fear for me, that's a different story, but this was a moment I was afraid that what if I lose her? What if I lose her down the crevasse? But I tried to take away the fear and move only on control, move only on action to get her up as fast as possible and then get the gear up.
I'm bad influence on Anastasia. That's the first thing that comes up on this camera today. Especially the one hiding behind me that was in the crevasse yesterday. So now we're gonna go skiing and kiting, hopefully, in this beautiful weather.
One day at a lecture, a guy raised his arm and he said, "I would love to join you on your next adventure." I said, "That's fantastic. What are your skills? What is your background?" "Well, I'm perfect for doing adventures. I'm not afraid of anything." But I said, "Well, I don't want to go with you on my expedition if you're not afraid of anything, because fear is a safety net. Fear is good. Fear is something that nature has brought to us as a safety net, so we can have control over things that are dangerous. If we take away that safety net, we will die pretty quickly. Fear is a way for the body to tell you that something is dangerous. So I don't want to take away the fear, but I want to overcome the fear or control the fear. So I think fear is important. You should listen to fear. You should also interact with the fear and see if you, together with the fear, can find a solution where you take a risk, but a controlled risk. You have to be afraid, but you have to have control. So I do think that fear is important. I do think you should listen to it, and I do think you should overcome it, but never ever ignore fear.